What up? Welcome back to Neptune Sunday. Very special end of the year episode. It's been a while since me and Vogue gotten together. Hey, what's going on?
Hey Vaughn, how's it going?
Good to see you and hear your voice. It's funny us like we act like that, but we actually have seen each other in person since the last time we recorded an episode at my going away party.
That was nuts. We hadn't seen each other in like a couple of years at that point.
Right. And so that leads into a big update for me since probably last time you guys heard my voice. I don't live in DC anymore. I now live in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So a lot going on in the world, a lot going on in life for both me and Vogue. So apologies for the hardcore listeners who have missed us, but we're going to do a quick episode to wrap up the year and then look forward to
everybody up.
Yeah, 2022 is coming. Okay. So first of all, like let's just touch base. I don't think we haven't since we haven't recorded an episode together. Like, what do you think? Are there any things that you want to talk about, or any things that stood out to you from episodes that I did with my crazy friends?
No, honestly, I started to quit the show because the vibes were just. I loved the energy. I was really happy. I felt like a guest on my own show, so I was just impressed at like how many memories you guys had together that revolved around Neptunes. And like, that's kind of the reason why we even do this podcast, right? Like seeing the real life connections that this music creates for people.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think, the three episodes that we did, the one with all the boys was obviously special because it was the first time that all of us had really been together in a while too. And like having a structure to that interaction was kind of like really cool and unique. Obviously, anytime we can get Justin Tinsley on anything, he's on fire right now. He's killing everything, a lot going on for him. Can't wait for the Biggie book to come out in May. You know, I was actually with him down in Miami for an event for the D-Wade book he helped write. So superstar Celebritins is always going to be a great guest. But then I think the underrated, so the episode with my boy Chauncey was just literally random. He happened to be in DC for the weekend, and I said, come to the house. And I was like, we literally had just done Justin's episode, which was crazy because if I got the two of them together, that would have been absolutely ridiculous. But, the quote that Chauncey had about, if the Neptunes are making rap symphonies, Snoop is a violin and Jay-Z is something that only Chauncey Jenkins would come up with. Cornell graduate, hospitality, like hotel experience. Like the guy is he's a Renaissance man in the ultimate sense of the word. So that was really dope. But you did mention that. Go ahead.
Actually remembering that you're selling your going away party short because we actually had a battle there that we almost turned into an episode.
True. Yeah. Going away party was in the height of the Diddy versus JD controversy.
So we did a versus, which was I was surprised at how evenly that went. I expected, I don't know who I expected to win, but I expected there to be a huge lean one way. But it was like really fun to do that in person with like your other friends around to just like talk about music with other people. I know it's not strictly Neptunes related, but I feel like that was a fun thing that we should mention at the top of the episode.
Yeah, for sure. It was I don't think we finished it because more people came, we got distracted, but I think JD's like hits are just there. A lot of them are underrated and there's things that you don't really realize that he did. But I was raised on Bad Boy, so like I'm gonna ride or die for Sean Combs, to an extent, right? But I just feel like overall Puff's bangers are like such strong big records. It's hard. I think it would be hard, but not like impossible for JD to, hold his own. It'd be interesting. It definitely would be something that people would want to see.
I mean, I feel like you're softening how this went. Everybody was really surprised at how far JD went in that contest. Like,
yeah, I mean, because my guy, he played the first song that, and I'm sorry, I can't think of his name right now. My homegirl Priya's boyfriend. He played the first song he played was Money Ain't a Thing, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is this is not gonna be, oh my, like what? Money Ain't a Thing is one of my favorite songs, and I was like, completely forgot about it, because that, even though that's a JD song and JD's on it, to me that's a Jay-Z song. But
Yeah.
at the same time, like that's a big record. So it was interesting.
Yeah.
It definitely was fun.
It was definitely fun. We'll have to put together something similar because I know we've done a versus between each other, but
Right.
something similar in person, when we ever see each other again, it might be another couple years.
Because at the time of this recording, COVID is on the rise, spinning the block on us as we speak, spinning the block, spinning.
Oh my God, you sound like a youth. We want to talk about some of the more recent Neptunes projects. And I think that like even the stuff that's come out in the past couple years has hit really hard. Do you have any favorites that you want to talk about?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think when I look into the, Pharrell, while Chad was taking a kind of a break, and now that they're really back on their shit together, like kind of working with the next generation, I think even though they did a song on Good Kid, Mad City, I think All Right with Kendrick was really the moment. It was like, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
We're connected with this next wave, and we're ready. We're locked in. And like All Right was just such a big record. It being a Neptunes beat, Pharrell on the hook, and that album being so in your face and just blackety black, like, and that kind of being the rallying cry of the album, like I thought that was really dope.
That feels generational. Like that's gonna be the song that like we play when we're older to kind of like commemorate the Black experience.
Right. And so, so that was in 2015. And so I think some other heavy hitters and personal favorites since then, like, we talked about Neon Guts on the episode with my boys, which is amazing.
Love Neon Guts.
Obviously, a big mainstream hit with Stir Fry, like considering how big Migos has been over that time period too. Like Stir Fry is just like, it's a ridiculous record, and it's almost just, I feel like it, because it was so popular, like you can't really appreciate it as much as you want to. But I played it the other day and I was like, yo, this is fire, bro. Like, and the fact that it was an old T.I. beat too, like I don't like T.I. I don't know how I let that go.
I did not know that at all. I actually remember, I want to say the Grammys that year, Stir Fry was featured in like one of the commercials. And like that blew my mind, because for a rap song to be on that large of a stage, especially in the music community, like that's huge.
Yeah.
They also did that project with Ariana Grande, which I'm talking about Ariana Grande again. It doesn't get enough credit with some of her stands. I am one of her stands, but I think it was a really solid album. I think I've said before that it sounds like the project that Vanessa would have made if she ever, put out a mainstream project. And I thought it was really dope. It was something different for Ariana. I think that like that probably got her a lot of credit in terms of R&B fans, because she's a little bit more on the pop side of things. But did you have any thoughts?
For sure. I'm obviously not, we've had this conversation before. I'm not a huge Ariana Grande fan, but those songs, there's a couple of them that I really, really like. And I think the backstories of some of them are Beyonce, like leftovers, which you can hear a little bit, which makes sense. But yeah, we can get more into that because I know that's your girl. We can talk more about that in the next episode. There's another joint that I really liked from that time too. Maybe I guess that's like 2018. With Anderson .Paak, he's got a joint on there, Twilight, that P is on, which is great. And I think like that's part of in this transition, right? Like with radio not being as big as it is, they're not making these big records that everyone knows. It's like, it's a Neptunes record because it was on the radio. It's like, no, like there's some of the deep cuts. And you hear the 4 count, you're like, oh man, is this what I think it is? And then all of a sudden you hear P's falsetto, and it's like, so Twilight is definitely one of those songs where it's like, I didn't catch it the first time. But then when I went back and looked, I was like, yo, that sounds like Pharrell singing in there. Like I know Pharrell's voice enough to recognize it when I hear it. Right. I can't be crazy. So, and I think that's like, moving into some stuff they've done in the past couple of years. I think the things that they did in 2020 and the artists that they worked with gave this hint that they were about to come back in a big way. When you think about at the time of, things shutting down, the pandemic, they hadn't really done a lot. But then like we got these 2 Meg songs in the March
Yeah.
20 that were very like low key. And just like I said, they were like deep cuts on whatever project that was from Meg. You know, you wonder if the pandemic had any effect on that, on the work that they're doing. Like maybe that helped them regroup and now like they're really, doing a bunch of stuff now, or maybe stuff that would have come out a year ago. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I agree to some extent, but like really, I think we're ignoring two of I can't remember the name of the other one right now, but like pretty much the song of the year, like literally the song of the year. Hit Different by SZA. That's produced by them. That was a huge moment. There are some other songs that did come out during the pandemic. And like, I think we still get really excited when we see artists like, oh, I'm in a studio with Pharrell. Like, that's still a sign that like you've made it as an artist.
Sure.
Of course, there's a song on the Tyler album, Juggernaut, that's really dope that P has a verse on. There's a lot of stuff that came out this past year, 2021, for a timestamp. I love Green Juice by ASAP Ferg. So, I mean, yeah, I think the work has died down, but I think they're still putting out some really heavy hitters.
Yeah, and I think like P definitely has been doing like Juggernaut. Like that's not their production, but like
Right.
him sprinkling himself in it, like are things where you always want to hear P. You just want to hear P, right? That means that he's working, right? Like he might not be, that just means he's in the studio with Tyler. So maybe he didn't do anything on that album or that project, but maybe there's something coming, right? Like there's another. I happened to randomly catch this song that's by Aunt Clemens called Aladdin that is produced by somebody else, but P got on there. It's like, so I think definitely, like you said, to see people in the studio, which we get to in a second, but definitely that momentum, especially with the Monica song featuring Lil Baby getting verses. It was like that was a moment that was bigger than people realized because it was like this Brandy and Monica verses while we're all in the house in the pandemic, but it's got a Lil Baby verse on it who was just like the guy right now.
Right.
And then you look it up and it's produced by the like what? Like,
Yeah.
So yeah. So looking into 2021, this past year, as we're wrapping it up, we're doing this episode December 30th. So it's the end of the year. They had a couple Moneybagg Yo joints, which I actually really like. Like I'm not a huge Moneybagg Yo guy, but both of those songs were great. P on the hook. I think I saw something that said, one of them already had the hook on it, and P was just like, come on here, dude. Just like we talked about before. He's gonna get you to do something different. He's gonna say, here's the process that we do. So that was dope. And I think Moneybagg Yo did his thing with that, with those two Neptunes tracks.
Yeah.
Something I want to talk about too, like, and get your opinion on it, right? Like we had these Pop Smoke songs. I like Pop Smoke. And the three songs on this album this posthumous album, I hope I said that word right. I know there was a lot of backlash about the album coming out in general, and like some of the songs, like in the Pharrell songs and the Neptune songs they're not bad, but they're just like, I think one of them does a good job of really maintaining the drill sound that Pop had, but at the same time, some of the other ones just seem like a stretch. So it's like, it worries me as a big Neptunes fan that they would be incorporated with some negative backlash of people trying to say this album was rushed out or like it shouldn't. It isn't a representation of what Pop Smoke actually wanted to do. Like
that's my problem with anything released after an artist passed away. If this were a different podcast, I'd give you like a 5-minute rant on why I'm pissed off at the Mac Miller album. But like I, as a rule, don't really fuck with it. On one hand, I do see the like, there's kind of a poetic nature of having like the Neptunes produce something on that album because it's like kind of giving him that stamp that he couldn't get while he's here. But again, I feel like a lot of the time you lose the core of what that artist usually represented because like no one else can do it like them. So it's hard for me to really even enjoy anything that's released posthumously like that.
Yeah, and we also got to mention too, like there is the connection there. Like Steven Victor was really involved with Pop Smoke's career, who used to be Push's manager. So there's obviously that connection. Like that makes sense for us that know that.
Yeah.
For people who don't know that, it's just like, well, why did you force him on these Neptunes beats? So, like for all we know, like because of that connection, this could have been in the works already, right? Like these songs could have existed. Like, so overall, like again, it's always going to appear like a money grab, but at the same time, if the music is good, the music is good. People will love it or they won't.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure.
All right, you mentioned Green Juice, which I think is dope, which was a big statement for Ferg, who dropped the ASAP, by the way. Since he signed to Rock Nation, like that's kind of his big statement. I'm on Rock Nation. I'm bringing out Pharrell. Got this Jay-Z battery in my back. So I think that song was really dope. The video was crazy too. Like one of my friends, like because The Matrix just came out, was like, "Is this on the Matrix 4 soundtrack?" I was like, "Maybe." It looks like it could be. I don't know. I mean, it sounds like it could be too.
I
What
mean,
else?
I was up with that news. Actually, there was a little DMV love this year. They did a song with IDK. I'm a big fan of IDK, also of Rico Nasty.
Yeah.
And the song featured Rico Nasty. Fun fact, I know I like to give you a story. My sister went to school with Rico Nasty for a little bit,
That's
or
crazy.
we like grew up in the same hood. So like I love Rico Nasty. I think she's so special and different, and like honestly to me represents some of the what the Neptunes in general stand for, like elevating artists who are daring to do something different. So I thought that them having that collaboration was dope.
Yeah, that's dope. I mean, I think IDK, I had heard a couple IDK songs before this that I thought were really dope. And so I was happy to see him work with them. Before we get into another DMV artist, let's talk about two R&B tracks that came out this year. So then there's Snow in Your
Yes,
Eyes, which came out.
I forgot all about that one.
Have you listened to that whole album? I haven't gotten a chance to get through it.
So I'm gonna say yes, but with the caveat that I don't remember it. Like I remember the tracks that I like.
Right.
I think I listened to it once and I was like, I'm gonna listen to these tracks with Tyler and Neptune's production and call it a day.
Yeah, the first album was so good. Like it's
Yeah,
very hard. It's very hard to come behind like a really, really solid effort that first album was.
sophomores are always hard.
Yeah. So the next R&B track I wanted to talk about, which I think is actually one of the better Neptune songs. I mean, one of the better songs, period, to come out this year, is Summer Walker. That right there, like I hear that in the club. I'm saying I imagine hearing it in the club if we ever get to the club again. If we do, I probably won't
I'm
be.
never going to the club again. I'm letting you know
But
that.
but but the point is the vibe. It's a two-step. Like I think the energy of that is very like it's very much P and Chad giving someone a different approach to like what their music usually sounds like. Because all the
Yeah.
Summer Walker songs I've all heard are very slow and kind of sing songy, but that's who she is, and she does a great job of it. And this has got more of a bop to it that I think that it was definitely P and Chad bringing that out of her.
So I gotta tell you a secret. I haven't heard a single track from that album. I think I maybe heard the one. Is it with Ari Lennox?
Yeah,
Uh,
that's Unloyal, I think.
I've heard that because other people have played it around me, but like it's not that I don't like Summer Walker, it's that I don't like to be depressed for fun. I'm not listening to an album about like my man cheating and being terrible. So you have just convinced me to give the album a listen. I heard it's good.
I listened to most of it. I think by accident. I think I listened to most of it by accident, right? I think when I went to go find the Neptune song, I let it play, but it was on shuffle, so I don't have the progression of it. But for what I heard, most of it was good, and I like a couple of Summer Walker songs. Obviously, I love, I really like "Girls Need Love" too, just because of Drake's remix verse, which is very good. Speaking of Drake, right? What a perfect segue.
I was waiting for you to get there.
Perfect segue. So we talked about the DMV. So another DMV artist, my man Brent, teamed up with Drake, and this is really the first Neptunes song that Drake's been on. I mean, he did a remix verse on Lemon, which is like random,
Yeah.
but this is the first time we've heard him on the Neptunes, and like he brought the raps out. Like he brought the raps out, and it was very impressive, which makes us think like, I mean, Justin talked about this before, like he's got to get to a point where I think based off the reception to CLB is like, you got to figure it out, man. Like you got to go get some, at least go get like, if you want to make a statement, like go get a whole Neptune's album, like that would make the whole world go crazy. Would it be great? Maybe, maybe not, but at least like do something different, man. Like I just feel like, I don't know.
Okay. I'm going to keep this to 1 minute. Drake is never going to do anything different because Drake has the art of a commercial song down pat, and that album is full of commercial songs.
Right.
So those of us who like see that, like even Take Care. Take Care, I would say, is probably his most artistically sound album in that it has like interludes. It feels like it has like an overtone. The songs kind of like go together, quote unquote. But like the artistic project that we're all waiting for from Drake is never coming. So that being said, I love Wasting Time. It's one of my top songs of the year. And I really felt like, or every time I listen to it, I'll say I feel like it gives me 2004 Neptunes, but like current. It doesn't feel, it captures the feeling of the original Neptunes without feeling outdated. And I think that Brent is a perfect vehicle for that. And I also love fuckboy songs. I love it. Sing to me about wasting my time. I think that's great.
If I let you talk first and nobody is speaking second, fluid and passive aggression, that's why you acting dismissive. Hearing me out for once will require you actually listen. Drake voice, damn. Like, come on, dog. That is just absolutely just classic Drake. Like, he did his thing.
Chef's kiss.
All right. So to wrap it up, we talked about this a little bit earlier, is the visual now that we have that sparks our anticipation, right? Like this year, I think it was maybe May or like sometime this summer.
Yeah.
They started the Neptunes Instagram, which has been very, as a social media professional, like I am very in love with the aesthetic, the consistency, and the look of the photos, and I love it.
I love aesthetic.
According to the Instagram, here's what we should be looking forward to in 2022. So they already did the Ferg, Summer, and Brent. That's already out. They got pick with Lil Uzi, Chloe. There's a couple picks with Adam Levine from Maroon 5 in there. There's a couple picks of Vince Staples, which should be interesting. I haven't listened to the whole thing, but that Vince Staples album this year has gotten a lot of love.
Oh, it's crazy. I spun that so much that now my Spotify won't stop recommending it to me.
Ella May could be interesting. There's a pick of ASAP Rocky. Of course, Pusha. So the rumor is like Pusha's about to put out this project that's going to be all Neptunes and Kanye. And like I read something talking about how Pharrell was like Pusha's biggest critic and told him that he could do better in some songs that they recorded. So like that's good to hear. That's good to hear, man. Like
it is.
That is good to hear. So
that's exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting to get them back together, right? Like I can't think of the last P and Pusha song that we had. Like thinking about the last projects that he's put out. I can't think off the top of my head, but like if it's new and it's really the energy, like, and Pusha's been through a lot since we've heard from him, like a project, right? Like Drake beef, got married, had a kid, a lot going on. So obviously there's a ton of, in his leadership role in good music, there's a ton of negative energy within and around the good music crew with all this Big Sean and Kanye like drama. And so
I got him triggered.
Yes. So that I'm excited about that. Like Push is obviously my guy, which we can talk about. We will definitely talk about next season. I don't know if we should call this a season, but like whatever. This is the last episode of season 1. So season 2, get ready for some clips, Pusha talk. But yeah. So one other guy that they had on Instagram, 24K Golden. I don't really know any of his songs. I've heard of him, and I actually randomly saw an interview where he was talking about how he literally had a full ride to USC because he wanted to be a hedge fund manager.
Wow.
Out of school because he wanted to rap.
Okay, we'll see if that pays off. I don't know this person either. I've definitely heard of him. But I checked my Spotify. I was like, maybe I like heard him on the fly and liked the song, but I don't see anything that I've heard before. So I mean, I'm really interested to hear like what his vibe is, how it meshes with the Neptunes. That's exciting to me.
All right. The last 2. So there's a picture of them with Busta Rhymes, and like Busta Rhymes is up there on our list of the greatest frequent Neptunes collaborators. So whatever is cooking with that, I'm excited about it. And then Rick Ross. So it's interesting that Rick Ross is in, like, and that's the other part about it, is like we see them on Instagram, so we assume that they've been in the studio, and they could just be hanging out. But
oh, come on.
I feel like if you go down, if you're in Miami to visit them, It's just like coming to my house and not recording an episode of the podcast. Like it's the same.
Right? Why would I do this? I mean, we are friends, but why would I just be there?
Right. So Ross's album is already out. So, but I did hear that there was a deluxe version coming. So maybe there's a Neptune song on there. Maybe we don't know. I think that'd be great.
Well, my question for you is, out of the list of people that have been on their Instagram, who are you most excited by and who are you most surprised by to see working with them?
I'd say I'm most surprised by Vince Staples.
Okay.
I think he's one of those guys, and he said this on, he had a really interesting part of his Drink Champs interview where he was talking about how he makes songs specifically a certain way so they get picked up to be licensed for like TV and movies and video games. And so like that seems like a very strategic way to create your music that I don't know if that necessarily fits in with the way that Chad and Pharrell do things. Is like it's a lot of vibes, it's a lot of energy, and
Yeah.
so I don't know if you can do that. So maybe I don't know. I think that would be great. I think I'm most excited about. I'd just say a combination of Pusha and Buster, just because of Pusha's history with them. I mean, Buster's history with them is really strong too, but Pusha's due, and
Yeah.
going back to his roots. Everyone should be scared. What about you?
I don't know if surprise is the word, but I am surprised to see LMA on this list. I'll be honest with you, I don't know that I'm checking for a new LMA project. Fun fact, everybody, another one of those. LMA is the only artist that I've ever been told that I look like, that I actually kind of agree. But like she's not you've seen my face like in motion. So I don't really look like her, but I don't really like anybody. My point is I'm not overly excited to hear her work with them, but I am interested to see what they could do. Most excited about, honestly, I'm gonna say Chloe Bailey. I've been interested to see. I thought that she went solo or started doing solo work a little earlier than I would have in her career, but I think she's done a good job so far. And like, she's obviously been playing music and writing songs for the duo for a long time. So I think that like they can make something really magical together.
Right. I think I'm looking forward to that one as well. Because I think the other thing that's always important to keep in mind when you talk about Chloe, she got that Beyonce cosign, or that Beyonce, like, just like I said, Ferg got that Rock Nation Jay-Z battery. Chloe got that Beyonce battery, which is it's different. It's just a different energy, like my man Chance the rapper said, I met Kanye West, I'm never going to fail, right? Like that's the same thing applies to most people that have been supported or guided by one and or both of the Carters.
That's very true. Now we can argue that Chance line, but that's a conversation for a different day.
It almost would take us to start a whole nother show to talk about all of our Kanye views, opinions, and
it really would.
Like, that guy he's in a space right now that is just like so polarizing to me personally, and I'm just like it hurts my heart because I want to like he's doing great stuff, but like did you watch the Big Sean Drink Champs?
I did not watch the Big Sean Drink Champs yet. I'm a big Big Sean fan. I love Big Sean. So hearing him talk about Big Sean like that, I was like, oh my God, what did he do to you?
To see that, and I didn't watch the Kanye one. All I saw was the clip and how just arrogantly disrespectful he was to Big Sean in that moment. But then to watch the episode with Big Sean and to hear his sincerity and his side of the story, I was just like, yo, Kanye is tripping. Like, it's ridiculous to one, apparently you owe him money. So how do you come on TV and talk bad about him when you owe him money? And then there's a part of it. I'm not going to ruin it for you or for any of our listeners because I want you guys to watch it. But there's a part of it where he talks about how a situation related to the song Blessings and Drake being on that was a point of contention with Kanye too, because Kanye is obsessed with Drake and vice versa. So but enough about it. And I don't want that guy brings my energy down, man. Like,
I'm gonna make the one point. It's a positive point because I also cannot talk about Kanye right now in that context. But what I will say is I did watch the Kanye and Drake concert, and it reminded me of everything I used to believe in Kanye. That was kind of incredible. And it helped me see, I'm a Kanye fan, but just seeing like his work over his career in that kind of format, I was like, this man is really kind of the greatest to ever do it. It's a damn shame that he behaves the way that he does, because it's going to kind of tarnish everything for us. But that's a conversation for a different day.
Right. And I'm going to end it on this. Is Larry Hoover free?
Don't get me started.
That's my question. That's my only question is he free? All right. Well, this has been great. It's good to see you. I know you got a lot going on, so appreciate you taking this journey with me and hopping on a chat. And even when we feel like it's not going to do well, we do figure out a way to just make it happen.
I love talking about music, so no matter how bad of a mood I'm in, and plot twist, everybody, I'm in a terrible mood, I'm always going to talk about music.
All right, guys. So everyone listening, appreciate your support for checking us out. Really excited about what we're going to try to get done for quote unquote season 2 starting in 2022. But thank you to everyone who's listened. Thank you to everyone who's been a guest, my boys. And yeah, check us out in 2022. Vogue, thank you. I appreciate you.
Doing my best with what I got, as Mariah said.
All right, Joe. I'll talk to you soon. Everybody listening, peace and love. Check us out in 2022 and have a happy new year. Be safe in your living rooms. And
Please
if you're going out, yes, if you're going out, wear a mask, get vaccinated, all that stuff. I'm just going to say it. Okay. All right, cool.
Do it. All right. Talk to you later.
All right. See you later.